from your job provider. I'll use the word system a lot. That basically means MyWorkSearch. I'll also use MyWorkSearch interchangeably with that term as well. But without further ado, let's get started. Now, I'm not too sure how far along you guys are in the process of using MyWorkSearch, but I should start from the very, very beginning, just in case you don't know about these steps. So, whenever an advisor creates a account for you, what will happen is that you'll receive an email from the provider, and this email looks like this. It says, Dear such and such, we're delighted to provide you with access to MyWorkSearch, the comprehensive job seeker toolkit. And here it has a link to the activation page. On that activation page, all you need to do is nominate your own username and password, and by default that login field is populated with your email address, because we suggest to all users of our system to use your email address, simply because it's something that you won't forget, and there's no point having so many different usernames across your usage of the internet anyway. So we just suggest you guys use your email address, but you can change it to whatever you want it to be, so long as it doesn't already exist in the system. So if you have an internet alias, for example, you can go ahead and put that in. But when it comes to your password, we ask that you guys use one which is at least 6 characters long. We'd have no special requirements when it comes to uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols, things like that. It just needs to be 6 characters in length, and that's it. Once you click on register, it'll take you to this. Now, this is a new feature we've rolled out. This is basically where, if you have this feature enabled, the job active account integration feature enabled, what that allows you to do is, whenever you make a job application record in MyWorkSearch, that record is automatically duplicated in Job Active. Now, the reason why we have that is simply because it saves you guys, the job seekers, time when it comes to your job search activity. You don't have to double handle everything, and whatever you put into MyWorkSearch is exactly what you see in Job Active as well, so there won't be any discrepancies in that regard. So if you do want the Job Active integration set up, all you need to do is click yes, otherwise click no. It's totally up to you whether or not you want to opt into this feature, but I do suggest that you do, so you don't have to keep going to your Job Active account and entering those job applications in for a second time. Now let's move on, guys, to this page here. Basically, if you were to select yes on the last slide, asking you if you want to use the Job Active integration, it'll ask you if your JSID number is correct. Now, there are 2 things that need to be correct in MyWorkSearch for this to work correctly. Your JSID number, that's your job seeker reference number. It needs to be exactly what it says on your Job Active account. Not only can you check it, but also your job provider can check it, your advisor can check it. So if it's not correct, all you need to do is click no, find out what your job seeker ID number, and get in touch with your advisor. They have access to change that on your account at this point in time. The other thing which needs to be correct in order for this Job Active integration to work is the email address. Now, this email address needs to be the same one that you gave to Centrelink when you got your Job Active account. This needs to be 100%, one letter out of place, and it will not work. One symbol that's missing, and it won't work. It's not case sensitive, but I do recommend that you do basically copy down exactly as it is in your Job Active account, just as good practice in the future. So if you were to click yes, you'll get a confirmation that says you are done. Applications made through the Job Finder, MyWorkSearch email client, or tasks list will be sent to your Job Active account. Now, while we're here, I want to mention that there are only 3 ways you can make job application records in MyWorkSearch. That is through the Job Finder, the MyWorkSearch email client, if you have that set up, and the tasks list, which is the manual way of doing things. Actually, they all require a bit of manual input, but once you do record a job application in the system, it is automatically sent to your Job Active account, and that's a handy tool for you guys to take advantage of when you're in MyWorkSearch. Now, If after you've gone through the job active prompts, it'll take you to the dashboard. Now your dashboard, this little blue screen here, if it's your first time logging in, you'll get a window that says, welcome to MyWorkSearch. Most new members will watch this video on many features on our system. Now I believe this video takes you to the job seeker overview video. I'll show you a little bit about that. I'll show you a little snippet of that later when we actually get into the system, but that's the video that you'll see. I recommend you watch that first, just so you get a taste of what MyWorkSearch is all about, and just so you know what features are available in MyWorkSearch, so at least you can look into those further if you want to use them. Say, for example, you've forgotten your password. If you're on the sign-in page, all you need to do is click on Forgotten Your Password, and what will happen is this page will load. This page is asking for an email address. Just put in your email address that you gave to your job provider, and what that will do is it will send you an email, or first of all, confirm that you have that an email has been sent to your email account. But the email looks like this. This is the reset password email, and if you want to reset your password for any reason, after you've gotten to this stage, you click on that link, and then you get to set your password to your leisure. It's the same process with setting up having a reminder of what your username is. All you need to do is click on the Forgotten Your Username link here. I better highlight that in. If you've got your username, just click on that link there, and you'll go through the same prompts as you would for Forgotten Your Password. It'll ask for an email address, to whack in your email address, and an email will be sent to you telling you what your login name is. So that's what you do if you're coming into sign-in troubles with MyWorkSearch. That's all you need to do. Let's dive straight into the system, guys, and I'll show you what things look like from the perspective of the job seeker. Let's remove this, guys. Not very tidy. There's demo user 1. Okay, guys, so what this is here, this is the first thing you'll see when you sign into MyWorkSearch. This is the dashboard. Now there are a few links that you can click on here, but I'll go through them very quickly. Each of these little clickable links. Here it says create your first resume. Now the system recognizes if you have created a resume or not, and this dashboard will change according to your usage of MyWorkSearch. So for this particular account, there is no resume logged against Robert. Robert is the account that we signed into. If you want to create your first resume, all you need to do is click on that link, and it takes you to the resume builder. Moving on, we'll have a look at the search for jobs. If you were to click on this, it takes you to the job finder. Now, the job finder is our search engine where you can look for jobs and things like that. It's like Seek in a sense, but our version of it. Here you can click on search vacancies for newspapers and journals. That'll take you to our directory. I'll go through that in a bit more detail later. That's a very handy tool for you guys to use if you want to approach local employers and things like that. Here there's a link that says need a guide. If you were to click on this, it takes you to the job seekers getting started guide. It's a PDF. If you're into text, if you're a text-based learner, you can download this guide, and it tells you how to sign into MyWorkSearch, and it shows you all the troubleshooting things that I'm about to show you as well. That's available for you guys. You're not sure where to start? Click on this link here, and it has a few statements for you to click on. So, for example, you don't know how to use MyWorkSearch, we can click on this, and what will happen is that it'll take you to a MyWorkSearch YouTube video. This one is the video for job seekers, the overview. So enough of that video, guys. We can click on Got a Job here. Alright, so this link is available to you. Once you actually found a job, you can change your account settings by clicking on here, or either by clicking on your account settings on the top right there, but this is just for in case, this is just another avenue of getting to the same thing. So once you actually find a job, go ahead and click on Got a Job on the dashboard, and you can fill in the details to notify your advisor that you've actually gotten the job. Down here at the bottom there is a news feed. We haven't posted anything since the 29th of September, but we did announce that we do have IBIS World market research information available for you. IBIS World is a market information database where if you want to, which will be useful for you guys if you want to know more about a particular industry. Say for example you want to know about the retailing industry, what that's like these days, you can go to their database and you can have a look at their articles. They're very easy to read, a lot of nice easy to read graphs and things like that there. I'll go into a bit more detail when we get to that section. Here on the right hand side under the My Overview section there is one link that says click here to search for jobs. Now if you have been using the job finder and you have made searches in the past, what this section will also do for you is notify you of any jobs which you have made that match any search criteria that you made in the past. So say for example Robert's really into retail jobs, and he's been looking within the region of Melbourne, for example. All he needs to do is make a search within the jobs finder, and every subsequent time he logs into MyWorkSearch, it'll tell you if there's any new jobs which meet those search criteria. So that's a great little tool for you guys to take advantage of there, just to save you a bit of time when it comes to having to keep typing the same thing over and over again. Moving on, there are task reminders. Now there is a tasks page within MyWorkSearch. I'll show you where that is. That's under the communications tasks submenu item there. And tasks do a lot of things within MyWorkSearch, but the most important one to you is that sometimes you need to create a job application task, especially for jobs that you've applied for outside of MyWorkSearch. But I'll explain that a bit more later on as well. Here it says here you got 3 new emails. Now if you have the email client set up, what that does is that automatically notifies you of any new emails that have been received in your inbox. The way that the MyWorkSearch email client works is that it syncs with your personal email account, and whenever you get an email sent to that email account, everything gets replicated into here, onto the MyWorkSearch system, and you can basically read your emails, send them, attach resumes very easily. Once it's all set up, you do save a lot of time when it comes to sending off job applications. A lot of the process is automated once it's all set up. But that's only if you actually set up your email client. That is optional, but we do recommend that you do use it, seeing as it's such a powerful tool. Next up is the track jobs link here. Now what that does is that links you to the site monitor, and what the site monitor does is that what you do is you grab the web address of whatever website that you'd like to frequent. Like say for example there's a jobs board on a very obscure newspaper that isn't in our database. What you can do is copy and paste that web address into the site monitor, and when it's in the site monitor, what it does is it tells you whenever there's any changes made to that website. It'll tell you how many times it's changed, and what you can do is from this dashboard here, once it's set up correctly, you can click on it. It takes you to these to that particular web page that you've been following, and you can go from there. Next up is the My Progress section. Now, this section here basically displays for you very handy information, statistics that the website gathers as you use the website, or you use MyWorkSearch, sorry. And if you have your unemployment date set up correctly in your account, it tells you how many days left are in your reporting period. Now, this is based off your unemployment date, which you can get from your Job Active account. Ideally, it should be the same as your Job Active account, simply because I'm not sure what your personal situation is, but the large majority of job seekers out there, what they do is they need to meet the obligation of 20 job applications per month, and that per month reporting period is based off the unemployment date. It's a 30-day rolling period from your unemployment date, so that's where that comes from. The number of applications made. If you've recorded a job application within MyWorkSearch, it'll tell you there, and you can also measure that against how many days are left in your reporting period, just so you know what you need to do to meet your obligations. These colors here is basically part of our traffic light system. If we meet all your obligations and things like that, what will happen is that red color will turn from yellow to let you know that you're sort of getting there, and once you've met them all, it becomes green. But don't take these colors to heart, because your situation might be a bit different. You might not have to apply for those 20 jobs. So I know some of you only have to apply for 10, sometimes even 5, but that depends on your situation. And but all those stats can be tracked here on the front page, and you can adjust your job search activity accordingly to that. Now here it tells you also how many advice center items you've read. There is an advice center in our system. It's basically a massive repository for job search related assets. There are PDFs, there are templates, there are interactive learning tools, there are all sorts of things that you can use to enhance your employability and therefore your ability to find a job. And that's what we're all about here at MyWorkSearch. It's you guys finding a job. And that's what this whole system is based around. Here it also tells you how much you've used MyWorkSearch, how long you've been logged in for. Currently it says 38 minutes. Don't worry about too much about that stat. So long as you're meeting your obligations with your job provider and everyone's happy, then yeah, that doesn't matter too much. If you ever need help on any page, there will be links to the support help desk. One way of getting to that is by clicking on this blue tab here on the right hand side. If you were to click on that, a form will open up and you basically describe what your problem is, what your inquiry is, and you can send it off and we get back to you within 24 hours. But like I said before, depending on how busy we are, usually we get back to you guys within 15 minutes. Down here is the same thing. It's the support tab down there, but what I'll do is I'll click on one of these just to show you what they do. That form pops up and you say, hi Jace, or hi MyWorkSearch, how does the job finder work? Guards, Jason. Send that off and we get that and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So those are the two ways you can find help from the dashboard. One more thing to point out is that you can click on Site Help. Now what that does is that takes you to a page of YouTube videos, and each of these YouTube videos details how you can use particular features of the website. Say for example you want to start looking for jobs, click on Job Finder tutorial, and then there's quite an in-depth guide on how to use the tutorial. They're all about I think maximum 5 minutes long, most of them about 2 to 3 minutes long. They're bite-sized, they're nothing too out there, but that is just one more avenue for you guys to take advantage of when it comes to your learning and your MyWorkSearch experience. Moving on, let's go to the account settings section. This is where you go to change your password and things like that. What I'll do is I'll go through very briefly how you can change your account settings. Click on that. Erase all drawings. Here we go. All right, so first thing you'll see is the job search email account. Now this is for the MyWorkSearch email client that is on the system. If you want to be able to send emails, receive them, read them, and things like that from MyWorkSearch, you can do it here. You need to either have a Outlook, Live, Hotmail, or Gmail account. Those are the only ones that our system is optimized for right now. It is a bit more involved. You need to read the guides, read the instructions here, how to do it. I'm going to make sure that all the settings are correct in your email account before this works. So make sure it is before you do. Moving on, guys, down here it says emails from us. Now, periodically we will send you emails advertising things like the webinars. We'll also nudge you in the right direction. So, say for example, if you haven't signed in for a couple of weeks, we'll let you know. Just reminders and things like that. If, however, you're sick of hearing from us, you don't want to hear from us at all, you can click on the No Emails at All button there, or you can make it only essential emails, make it all emails, up to you. Same thing with SMSs. The architecture of MyWorkSearch has been set up so we can send out SMSs, but we haven't been doing it as of yet. That is something that we are looking to get into in the future, though. So let's move on, guys, to the About You submenu item here. Now this is where you go to enter in your address and other details. By default, I don't think your address is in there. I don't think a few of these other fields are not populated either. But make sure that this section is as fully fleshed out as possible, simply because there are a lot of features in MyWorkSearch that require these fields to be filled in before they work correctly. Also, if you have a picture, a professional picture, go ahead and upload that. Reason being is that there is a particular feature in MyWorkSearch which I think is pretty cool. It's the online resume, and that that draws your profile picture straight from this account. And if you have that all set up, it'll look very professional, very nice, and your employers, potential employers that come across it will absolutely love it. Here is the job active integration account settings. If you want to change any of these settings, this is where you come to. At the moment, I don't have a JSID, it's not enabled, so obviously it's not going to work, but if you do want it enabled, this is where you go to change those details. Password and sign-in, that's where you go to reset your password to anything you want. Just make sure that you know what your current password is, otherwise you can reset it on the sign-in page before you log in. So that's how you change your details, guys. Let's move on now. Let's go back to the dashboard. Before we move on to the meat of the system, I want to show you how to get back to the dashboard. You can either click on the symbol here that looks like a little house that takes you to the dashboard, and likewise, if you want to click on the big MyWorkSearch logo on the top left here, that also takes you to the dashboard, and this is where you go to if you want to have a look at your account at a glance, how you've been doing, things like that. Now let's move to the meat of the system. Let's go to the jobs finder, guys. Now if you've used the job finder before, if you've made searches before, what will happen is that those search terms will be saved as quick select items in the left-hand side here. Right now, there are two things which it tells me I've looked for in the past. I've looked for bricklayer jobs and bricklayer helper jobs. So whenever you make a search in MyWorkSearch, automatically those search terms will be saved here as quick select items. Let's look at these other details that you can filter by. There's date published, there's job titles, location, hours, contract type, posted by, and ordered by. These are all for you to manipulate so that you can narrow down your search or expand it, up to you. But that's what this section is all about. Now, the simplest way to use MyWorkSearch is to type in a job title here into the job title field. Now, whenever you type something into these fields, MyWorkSearch will suggest to you one of the tags that are against the database. So all of these tags down here, they're all database items. Every job listing in our system is mapped against one of these tags. What we do find is that if you are using the job finder, choose a suggested item from these drop-down lists, simply because you'll have a much easier time looking for jobs that way. But you can also, when it comes to job title, you don't have to do that. You can just type in retail and not click on anything, and that works as well. It'll search things as a keyword, but like I said before, choosing something from the drop-down box is always usually the way to go. When it comes to location, it's the same thing. Now, when it comes to location, it's a lot more important that you choose one of these items here, simply because if you want to get an exact match for what you want. So in this case here, I'm going to choose Melbourne. And what I'm going to do is I am going to click search for jobs. And there we go. There we go. So what we have here, before I move on, guys, I want to point out this section here. Now, this section here, what it does is it confirms with you what your search criteria have been for this particular search. Right now, it says I've looked for retail jobs within the location of Melbourne. There, when it comes to sorting, I've sorted by any, hours, contract type, posted by any, and also by relevancy. Here down here, guys, you'll see that it's found 20 jobs in the last 24 hours from our database from 180,000 jobs. Now, what I want to reiterate is that our job finder has the largest number of jobs in the system for any system out there on the market for job search technology. Seek doesn't even have that many jobs. Now, the reason why I say that is because we get our job finder jobs feed. It comes from a company called Jora. They are a subsidiary of Seek, and what they do is they trawl the internet for all the jobs that are out there and are available. They bring it into one database, they remove the duplicates, and they feed it through to us, and that gives us the opportunity to offer it to you, and you guys can save a lot of time with your job search if you were to take advantage of the job finder. So the benefits are there are no duplicates in here. You don't have to go through each of these individual websites, and because of that, you'll be able to save a lot of time fluffing around, going through different websites, wading through the duplicates and things like that. the job finder, guys, we really want you guys to take advantage of the system, if anything at all. Make sure that you use the job finder, and that way you'll have a much better time when it comes to your job search activities. Right now it says here it's found 10 jobs from Seek, 1 from Gumtree, and 9 from 6 other sources. We source our jobs from over 1,700 job boards. If you can think of it, we've got it. It gets its jobs from Seek, gets its jobs from Jora, Indeed, Gumtree, Spot Jobs. If you can think of it, we got it. Make sure that you take advantage of the job finder, guys, if there is anything you're going to take advantage of within the MyWorkSearch system. What I want to point out, guys, is these things here. Now, each of these little rectangles down here is a job listing. Now, on each of these job listings, there are features that are clickable. If you want to read more about the job, you can click on expand. What that does is it expands the body of the advertisement. It gives you a bit more detail about what that is about. If you want to see where the job is actually hosted, you can either click on the title here, or you can click on view job and apply. They both do the same thing. If you were to click on it, what you'll notice is that it takes you to Jora. Now, as I mentioned before, Jora is our intermediary. They trawl the jobs with the internet. They bring it all to one database, and that is why this particular job posting has taken you to Jora before it's taking you to where it's actually hosted. This is not where the job is hosted. If you want to see where the job is hosted, click on view original job posting, or click on view or apply for job. They're both the same thing. And here it says that here it's taken us to Seek. So this job is actually hosted on Seek. Now, I know it takes a couple of extra mouse clicks to get to this particular page here, and once you get to this page, you want to apply for the job in the way that the job advertisement specifies that you do that. You might say email this guy, might say call this guy, might say enter our employment website. In any case, just follow the instructions of that job listing. One thing to point out though as well is that the reason why each job listing has its own way of applying for that particular job, that's why the job application process cannot be fully contained within the MyWorkSearch system, simply because the process for each of these job advertisements is different. It's not possible for us to contain the job application process entirely within MyWorkSearch. So once you come to where the job is hosted, guys, apply for the job as it stipulates. Once you've done that, hop back into MyWorkSearch. And seeing as you've applied for the job, all you need to do is click on I have applied, this button here where my mouse is hovered over. Once you click on that button is removed because you don't want to apply for the same job twice, right? So that's done for you now. And if you were to refresh the page, take note of this stat up here, guys, 0 applications made. If I were to refresh the page by pressing F5, that's the same for all web browsers. Right now I'm using Mozilla Firefox, but if I were to refresh the page, ask you if you want to leave the page. Yes, you do. What you'll notice is that applications made statistic is jumped by 1. So, as I mentioned before, guys, the job application recording process is not automatic. There is some user input required. In this case, all you need to do is click on the I have applied button, and automatically that gets saved as one job application that you made. And if you've got the job active account set up correctly for the integration, it'll also be duplicated in your job active account as well. So how about that, guys? A lot of time savings that you guys can potentially take advantage of when using MyWorkSearch. There are a few other clickable buttons over here. There's View Task. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a Tasks page within MyWorkSearch. The Tasks page is a very versatile tool you guys can use in MyWorkSearch, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail. You can also save the job, and what that does is pretty much bookmarks the job. If I were to click on this, what that does is it takes you to the saves that job, to the Save Jobs tab here. And if I were to click on this, it only shows me the jobs which I've saved. Now, these are normally jobs that you have a high interest in, and these are the ones that you want to be looking at. These are the best of the best, essentially. So that's the Save Jobs tab up there. If, for example, you keep seeing a job that you don't want and you're pretty sure you're not going to apply for it, say, for example, it is a retail job within the eastern suburbs, but you know it's it's an employer that you don't want to deal with. So if you want to remove that job listing from this search and for all future searches, and I'll repeat that, if you want to remove this job listing for this search and all future searches, all you need to do is click on the red X up here found on the top right, and what that does is that removes that job from this current search and all future searches. But bear in mind, guys, once you get rid of that job listing, you'll never be able to get it back. It is very permanent, so make sure that you absolutely do not want that job listing. Say for example you made a mistake and you want to bring it back, best course of action I advise for you guys to do is to call up your advisor, and they'll be able to search that job for you and suggest it to you. Before I move on, guys, there are a couple of other features available to you. Here, if there's a tutorial video that shows you how to use a particular, if there's a video on MyWorkSearch that shows you how to use a particular feature of the website, it'll be on that corresponding page as well. So here we have a job finding video. Click on that, and let's try that out. And that basically goes through all the details of how to use the job finder, just as I'm showing you now. Let's move on to the directory, guys. This is a very important tool. Let me close these tabs first of all. So here we are, guys. This is the directory. There are 3 different tabs here. This is powered by Yellow Pages. If it's on the internet, it'll be on here on the directories section. Here is, right now we're on the recruitment agencies. If you want to search for a particular area, all you need to do is type in the area that you want to search in, click on search. And what you'll notice here, guys, is 457 recruitment agencies have been found within Melbourne. Fantastic feature about this particular section, as well as that you can click on one of these contact cards and save it to your contacts, which is what I'm doing now. Just click on this little button here, and that appears in your communications tasks page. Once again, that's the communication tasks page, and you'll be able to see that and use that to your liking. Moving on, guys, there is a newspapers and journal section as well. This database here has pretty much every newspaper that's out there available, every publication that's out there. Say, for example, you want to look for publications within Melbourne again, type in Melbourne once more into the region field, click on search. And what do you know, there's 6 newspapers within the Melbourne region which we might be interested in. Here we have the Age. What you can do is save that to contacts as well. That saves it as contact cards under the communications contacts section there. If we were to click, we can also click on this. Usually these take you directly to the website, and if that newspaper happens to have a classified section, then most likely there'll be jobs on there too. So that's one more handy feature for you guys to take advantage of. Also, there are local employers. The local employers tab. Now, say for example, our friend Robert here, he's really into retail, so let's type in retail. He wants to get into the retail industry. He wants to look for Melbourne, so let's type in 3000. You can type in either by postcode, guys, or by keyword. So we can go Melbourne, or we can even type in 3000. That's Melbourne CBD. We'll type in Melbourne for this case, just for the sake of demonstration. And what that does is that opens a new tab in Google Maps, and it tells you all the locations where retail type businesses lie within Google Maps. And just like every other Google Maps search, what you can do is zoom in, zoom out, pan. What you can do is you can also click on these little red dots. If that particular business has uploaded their details onto Google somehow, you will be able to see their contact details when you click on these red dots. So that's a great little tool for you guys. Say for example you're into retail and you want to just call up potential employers, just click on one of these willy-nilly and you guys will be able to You guys will be able to give them a call or email them or whatnot. Okay, so that is the directory section, guys. Let's move on quickly to the tasks page. Now, I've mentioned before, when you're in the job finder and you've applied for a job, you click on I have applied, and that records that as one job advertisement in the MyWorkSearch system. And if you have the job active integration set up, that'll automatically be duplicated in your job active account. Now, say for example you found a job outside of MyWorkSearch. Say for example you found a job through word of mouth, your brothers, uncles, cousins, wife, whatever, they've told you about that job, you've applied for that job, and but because you found it outside of MyWorkSearch and you've applied for it outside of MyWorkSearch, you need to make a job application recording into MyWorkSearch, and this is where it's done. It's done on the tasks page. Now on the tasks page, there are a lot of functions that you can do. There's a lot of functionality around the tasks feature on MyWorkSearch, but what we want to do in particular is to create a task of job application type and then set that as the job, and basically fill in the details so your advisor can see that you have applied for a job, that particular job that you found through word of mouth, and that way your advisor can see that, and that counts towards one job application per month, and that counts towards your obligation to your job active contract. So let's create one. Let's click on create new task here. That's found next to the orange plus symbol. What will happen is that this form will appear, and all you need to do is type in a task name, whack in some faux details, ABC123, ABC123. For the due date, guys, I recommend that you guys put in the date that you actually made the application for the due date in this instance. Let's make it the 2nd of November, seeing as it's today. If it is a job application you've already done, make sure that the completed checkbox is ticked. And when it comes to the type of task, click on job application. And that will set that as one job application if we were to click on update, which is what I'll do now. But because my filters are not set up quickly, you won't see that just yet. And there it is. There it is, the ABC job application that I've made before. Also take note, guys. Remember that job listing we saw in the job finder, and I clicked I have applied for. It's also appeared here. Now this is one way that you guys can look at your job application records for within MyWorkSearch. One great feature here is that you can also export this to a spreadsheet. That's done by clicking on the export button here, found on the top next to the create a new task button. So if you click on export, your web browser will ask you what kind of program do you want to use to open up the spreadsheet. We click on OK because we like the Microsoft Excel to be the program to open up our spreadsheet. And here is a list of all the jobs that you've applied for. And you can print that off and take that to your job provider next time you go for that meeting. Nice little reporting tool you guys can take advantage of there. There are other ways you can have a look at your job application reports. Remember this stat up here on the top here where it says applications made. Actually, if I were to refresh that should become 2 now, seeing as I created a new one, and it's become 2. What you can do is click on the applications made link here, and that takes you to the applications report. Now this report's a little different. It doesn't have as much detail as the other one, but this one is just something that's good for you to use. That's quick and easy. You can change the reporting period as well. Right now it's the 29th of October to the 2nd of November, but we can change that to whatever we like it to be. We can change it to, make the from date the inception of the account as well, so you can see absolutely all the applications that you've made since you've signed up to MyWorkSearch. This one here can also be exported to a spreadsheet. All you need to do is click on export to CSV. And here we go. let's expand this up. You can see what we get. It tells you a little less detail compared to the other method of looking at your report, but this is just a quick and easy way of doing it. So that's another avenue that you guys can take when it comes to your application reports. What I'll do quickly before we run out of time is check out the advice. No, let's go to the resume builder first of all. Now your provider, your advisor will ask you to upload a resume onto MyWorkSearch if you have been signed up to MyWorkSearch. There's two ways you can go about it. You can either create a resume from scratch. MyWorkSearch has a fantastic resume builder, a resume wizard, so to speak. And what you can do here is basically go through all the steps of creating a resume, and all along the way there are little descriptors of how you go about it. So here I'll ask you what resume layout do you want to choose. You can use chronological, consultancy, or functional. There's a little button here that you can click and ask you a few questions. Are you changing industries? Have limited work experience? No. Are you looking for self-employed or contract work? Yes. Do you have any gaps in your work history, or have changed jobs options? Change jobs often? Click no. Click on next, and automatically it'll select for you the type of resume layout that the system thinks is most suitable for you. So there's all these other sections here. I'll let you guys go through that in your own time. There's the personal details, personal profile, skills, work experience, education, so on and so forth. And once you've completed it, there'll be a spell check at the end there, a nice little feature for you guys to take advantage of. And one thing to note before we move on, guys, is two things. Firstly, some of these sections are linked to questionnaires that you can take, and then preset paragraphs will be suggested to you, and you can plug those straight into your resume. Now that saves you a lot of time, so you don't have to create, I guess, a paragraph or like a little spiel from scratch. You can take advantage of the questionnaires that are linked here. Also, on the left-hand side, guys, there are all these assets that you guys can watch, click on, view, read, whatever. They all show you how to work on your resume as you're doing it. So that's great little assets there for you to take advantage of. Looks like here there's a video, Captivate asset, PDF, and looks like a template down the bottom there. So that's Resume Builder, and that's what you do if you want to create a resume from scratch. There is, however, a facility for you guys to upload a resume, and when it comes to uploading a resume, or if you want to upload a resume, first of all, click on the yellow button here, Import a Resume, which will take you to this page. Now, there are two ways you can go about it. Before I go on to that bit, what I need to tell you guys is that your resume that you're about to upload needs to adhere to one of these document types. So that's a .doc and a .docx. Those are both Microsoft Word documents, a .text file, Adobe PDF, and an RTF file. So if you're uploading a resume onto MyWorkSearch, make sure that it's one of these file types here. Also, one thing to note is that it cannot be any larger than 5 megabytes. What's a handy tip for you guys is that if your resume you found is larger than 5 megabytes, what you can do is you can save it as an Adobe file, an Adobe PDF. What that does is that instead of having actual text and pictures saved against your particular file, what it does is it saves a picture of your text and files, and that greatly reduces the size of your document. So if you do have a choice, use PDF. Otherwise, if you're able to upload the file as it is, go ahead and do that. But if you are having troubles, try and reduce the size to meet the size requirements. And if you're still having trouble, always feel free to give us a call on the 1300 number. That's the number that I'll display at the end of this webinar. So when you upload a resume onto MyWorkSearch, there are two options. You can choose to upload and edit. What that does is that it uses the MyWorkSearch algorithm to try and match particular features of our resume builder to your document, and it cuts and pastes the relevant sections. So say, for example, you have a skills section. The skills section algorithm will pick that up, cut it from your document, and paste it into our resume builder, that same resume builder that I showed you just recently. and that will automatically populate your resume, and you can change it and edit it to your pleasing. Now, that algorithm is not perfect. There are a lot of factors that need to be considered when it comes to uploading the resume. I know, for example, if your resume is quite heavily, if it heavily uses bullet points and things like that, and tables and things like that, there is the algorithm that's responsible for grabbing those particular elements from that document will not work as intended sometimes. So that's why it's always good to go over your resume before you save it in the resume builder. You can also upload a resume and save it just as it is. So say, for example, you have a resume which you think is perfect already. You can just basically upload it and save it exactly as it is, exactly as that document is as well. You won't be able to make changes, and whenever wherever you are, you basically have access to that resume, whether it be out on the road or at a library or wherever it is, you'll have access to your resume. So that's just another reason why you should upload your resume onto MyWorkSearch. Bear in mind, guys, that you can use MyWorkSearch on a phone, on a tablet, on a PC, on basically any device that has access to a web browser and a stable internet connection. Those are the two requirements, and if you have those two requirements, you'll be able to use MyWorkSearch. It's a 24-hour system, so you guys can use it whenever, wherever you are. Moving on, guys, let's move to the Advice Center. Now, this is where we hold all our assets when it comes to job search activities. There are all these templates, helpful articles, links, Adobe Captivate assets in here. You can search for particular topics by clicking on the topics drop-down box here. Click on looking for jobs. There are a few things you can click on there. Click on finance, click on things like there. You can also search by a keyword by typing it into this box here. Here it brings up all the list of all the assets in the Advice Center, which are pertaining to interview topics. One thing I do want to point out though is our newest asset in here, which is the interactive interview practice guide. Just to give you an example of what's available here. So here you can practice an interview. Not sure if you guys can hear this. Please let me know if you can. Well, that's a great little asset for you guys to use if you want to practice your interviews. So yeah, that's the Advice Center, guys. And I guess that's it for a webinar. I've covered all the topics. I'll leave this to you guys now. If you guys have any questions, any inquiries, anything that you want to see or me demonstrate, we do have 10 minutes. Anything you want to see, just let me know. You can put it through the questions and answers features, which is available on the GoToWebinar client on the right hand side. You can ask questions that way. What I'll also do is I'll unmute you guys. So if you do have a question, go ahead and ask me. But if you don't have a question, I ask that you mute yourselves. Alrighty, guys. So you guys are unmute. If you do have a question, please tell me over your microphone. Otherwise, just type it into the GoToWebinar chat feature. Any questions? Anything you want to see in MyWorkSearch that sort of glazed over, but you want me to go into more detail? Just let me know, and I'll do my best to address those inquiries. Don't be shy, guys. This is the time for you guys to ask questions. You won't have anyone. You won't have anyone I won't be as free, sorry, to give you one-on-one as are experiencing now. So go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll answer those the best I can. So guys, I'll leave the questions and answers open for another 3 minutes until 5 to 12. If I don't have any questions or inquiries, I'll just leave it at that, but go ahead and whack those questions through if you have any. Well, guys, doesn't seem to be any questions or inquiries. What I'll do is I'll leave it at that. Firstly, I want to thank you all for attending this webinar. I hope that you've taken something away from this that will help you with your job search, and hopefully you guys will be able to find a job in the very near future. This is Jason signing out. Well, before I sign out, sorry, I have my contact details up there on the screen there. If you have any other problems, any inquiries, any questions, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, whatever works for you. So this is Jason signing out. Thanks for attending this webinar.